Welcome to my journey through the Bible. This will be applications that we can apply to our life and a little more in depth about the chapter. We are in Numbers 4 1 through 49. And we see that the tribe of Levites were set aside to do God's work and God's service. And this was because the Levites were not to be fighting men. They were not to have blood on their hands. They were to work in the tabernacles, in and around the tabernacles, and to do God's service. And so we see that these tribes were divided up into groups. Now, at this point, they were only divided up into two groups, and they would report to two of Aaron's sons, because his other two sons had already died because they disobeyed God. Now, these families would be anointed with oil before they came into the tabernacles or into the tent area where they were setting things up. And their job was called a burden, because if it was not carried out in the way that God said, then they would die. So this became a burden to the family. Now, we can see, as we read later on in David, we will see that King David wanted to move this ark. He wanted to have it in his kingdom and close to him. But David did not follow all the rules, and one man reached out to touch the ark and he lost his life. Now, God wants us to do things in a certain way, the way that he has commanded us to do them. And we are to be respectful and do things in a certain order. Not only did God command this, there was consequences when they were not done in that direct order. So when we come before God, we come to him with respect and with worship. And much like people came to the son of Aaron to report back to them about what they were doing or to get clarity on their job and how to do that job. Now, today, if you go clean around the pews or touch the offering plate, you're not going to die. But we still need to have respect for everything that is inside of the church, everything that goes into worship, and we need to be respectful and realize that that is a place that God's presence is at. And just like in our church, we have a system, we have a way of doing things, and we bring along other members and say, okay, this is how we do this, or this is how we do that. And if I would guess, a lot of times we even have this system in our own home. We have ways that we want things to be clean and places that things should be put. And when they are not done that way, our house becomes a little haywire, to say the least. So there's a reason for having a system and organization in the way that you do things. May God be with you in everything and in every way.